Hi everyone, it's Chris Butler with the Rusty Barn Promotion Group. We are bringing you our quiltcraftsewmall.com and Wild Wednesdays live. We are so excited to be doing something in cooperation with all of our wonderful attendees while COVID still exists in our life. We are looking forward to the chance when we can meet you all again and see you face to face. Mask or no mask, we'll take you however we can get you. We hope you're all staying well, and we are excited for our upcoming 2021 show year. It looks like we may have approval on some of the shows out of the chute next year, depending on what happens with COVID. But until then, please enjoy our quiltcraftsewmall.com and support all of our small business vendors that are anxious to see you live in person. And we are too. We will hopefully start the year off with Phoenix and then move right into March and April and May with our busy show schedule. You can see all of our show schedule tentative dates at quiltcraftsew.com. And again, we really hope you enjoy Wild Wednesdays Live. Thank you so much for being with us. And again, stay safe, be well, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Wild Wednesdays Live, presented by Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival. I'm your host this week, Raylene Salazar. Now, before we get started, a couple of things I want to remind you of. First, if you ever miss an episode of our Live Wednesday show, you will be able to view it afterwards on our YouTube channel, Quilt Craft Sew Mall. So be sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. If during the program you have questions for any of our featured vendors, just type those in the comments section on Facebook, and then we'll make sure those get answered after the show. Now, we've got a great lineup for you today, so Beth Creative Oasis, I got a little tongue-tied there. She has an absolutely beautiful shop in Gardnerville, Nevada. And today, she's going to be showing us triangle, frenzy, and thread. So, are you there, Beth?
I'm here. All right. So,
hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, we are ready. Let's take it away.
Okay, so I'm so excited to be a part of this adventure and to be a guinea pig to see how it works. So I hope we do it all right. So what I'm going to be demoing today is the hexagon, frenzy hexagons with the 60-degree ruler, and then a little bit of thread painting, because that's kind of my favorite part of quilting. So what you're going to want is you're going to want a border print that has 4 repeats. So something similar to this. And okay, Raylene, I've got a little bit of a homework project for you. I have 2 $25 gift certificates that for giveaways, but I couldn't think of a good question for people to type in the answer, and I don't know if that will work on this program. I know on Facebook Live we kind of do that. So you have to let me know if that will even work, if people can type in comments or whatnot. But I do have 2 $25 gift certificates if you want to give them away as giveaways. So
what we can do, if they type in the comments, if they want to be part of that, then we will get you that whole name list after the show.
Okay, perfect. So you need a border print with 4 repeats. And the way you can tell that there's 4 repeats is 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one's up here under my hand. So a lot of border prints sometimes are smaller, and you just have to maneuver it and cut your triangle smaller. But for this, when you have a 4 repeat, which is what most of the border prints are, you're going to cut them into strips so that it looks like this. So once you have your strips like this, and I'm going to really trick my husband, who's the cameraman, into coming over here so that you can see how to start cutting it. So you're just going to line up your ruler here. And the first cut's always kind of tricky because you've got to cut it.
Hang on just a second while we get Beth back. Looks like we had a little bit of a problem on her end and she dropped off, but I'm sure she's going to be right back in here. In the meantime, we've been talking about, we really want you to visit our Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival mall. In that mall, you're going to find all your favorite vendors from our Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival shows. There's a page that will direct you right to all their products and information, lots of videos and fun things to look at. So please make sure that you're visiting that. We really all appreciate you so much. It's been a rough 9 months for all of us, and if it weren't for all of our wonderful customers, we'd be in deep trouble. So it looks like we've got Beth back, so we're going to get back to our demo.
Yeah, I have no idea. A commercial for StreamYard just popped up on our screen, so I have no idea what happened. Oh, wait, Roger says that it's him, not me. Okay, let me see. You girls are lucky. Whoever's watching is so lucky you get to experience this firsthand. Okay, but we promise we'll work out the kinks maybe. Okay, so the first cut is always the hardest because you've got to get the right angle. And then you're gonna just line up your ruler like this with the point up at the top. And you're just gonna cut your 60 degrees, and then you've got a triangle here. It's a super easy, quick project, and it makes great hostess gifts. So if you've got some Thanksgiving border print fabrics in your stash, this is perfect for that. So you're going to take these, once you get them all cut, you're going to take them over here, and you're just going to line them all up like the pattern says. So we've got 3 different patterns. The one that we're working on is this one for the Hexagon Frenzy. And it will line up like this. So you'll just take your 3 triangles and sew a 1/4 inch to create that section. And then once you sew your rows, the top row together, so this would be my top row, then I would line up my second row and then sew those together and then just sew the rows to each other. So that's for you piecers, because I know that some people love to piece and some people like to do art quilts. So at Fabric Chicks, we do a little bit of everything. But the things that I really love are the more dimensional quilts, kind of artsy, like doing pine needles and thread work. Here is a sample of Lake Tahoe, and we've done dimensional pine needles. I don't know if you can zoom up close, but it's all just playing with fabrics and threads. So we do a lot of Zoom classes now, especially since we can't do in-person classes. We do a lot of Zoom classes that you can go to our website, and I think you can get to our website via the vendor mall. And I don't know, Raylene, does it say that on the bottom how they can get to the vendor mall?
Yes, we've actually got the web address scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Perfect. So you guys can just go there, and then that will take you to all the different vendors' websites, and you can check out our class schedule. So here is what I've used for tree trunks, and all I've done is I've just layered silk ribbon. Here's my avocado bag, yarns, stuff I picked up off the floor. Never throw anything away. You'll find when you follow us, we keep everything. And then I put Fabric Magic behind it. So Fabric Magic is a product that will shrink your fabric about 30%. And that's what gives you this great dimension. You can also use it like in tote bags or on quilts. So the Fabric Magic is a fun product to play with. And then we use all different weights of threads, 30 weight threads, 12 weight threads. And we do a class specifically for threads where we go over 100 weight to 8 weight threads. 8 weight you have to couch onto your project, but 12 to 100 weight you can actually run through your regular sewing machine. So here's another one that we've done some thread painting on, and then we have just stitched around it. We've layered it with two sides of fabric, and then we scrunched it up. Steam seam is in the center of it. Then we scrunched it up like this and got it wet with Material Magic, which is different from Fabric Magic. It's like a liquid starch on steroids. And then you just scrunch it up once it's drenched in your Material Magic, and you just let it dry, and it will just hold that shape. So a lot of times I'll take these dimensional leaves and I'll just stitch them to hang off the sides of quilts. But also you could just make a bunch of these quick for Thanksgiving. You can go onto the computer. You can just type in coloring pages for adults, leaf patterns, just type in leaves, and you'll get all kinds of choices. So this is a super fun, quick project you can do before Thanksgiving to decorate your table. And then just toss them all in the centerpiece. Super easy, super fun. And if you follow us on Fabric Chicks Facebook page, we do demos and techniques and all different kinds of fun stuff. So here's a sample of pine needles that we've done with 12 weight threads. And you just take your wash away stabilizer and a piece of tulle and just draw your branch on with a Sharpie. And then just stitch the different lines. Really easy, really quick. If you go to our Facebook page, I think I demoed this on Monday. So it's not too far back in the records to find. And then when you wash away, this is what it looks like. So all the wash away stabilizer disappears. And then, and you know what, Raylene, I should have set a timer so I know how much longer I'm supposed to talk. Okay, so then this is another one that we've used washed away in yarns and threads. And this is just a good kind of a moss or a bush for a landscape. And then this one, we just cut up some batik fabrics, chopped it up, put it on top of our tulle with our wash away, and then just stitched around it and created a flower project, which I'm not sure where that sample is. It's hard to keep track of everything. But I did want to do a quick demo. I don't know. Did she say how much time we have left?
Let me go. Hey, you've got about 5 minutes, Beth.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's just something we need to tell the other vendors. They should set a timer. Otherwise, you have no idea how much longer you can talk. Okay, so then, so I'm going to show you a dimensional leaf with free motion quilting. And so what I've done here is I have just traced a leaf pattern with a Sharpie. Any leaf pattern will work. And then I'm going to take it, I folded it, and I'm just going to chop this up into little pieces. And this is just a piece of like glittery tulle or something. I actually found it on the floor, so I don't want to waste anything. Here is my avocado wrapper. So really, it's for those of you that are hoarders, it's a good thing because this stuff comes in handy. And we do sell embellishment bags that include all kinds of little things like this in case you're not a hoarder and you need us to share some of our treasures. And then here's just some funky yarns and just regular yarn. And I'm just going to chop this up because the more you chop up here into your leaf, the less thread work you have to do. And it just gives it fun textures. So that's kind of what we specialize in, is just lots of different ideas, techniques, and things that you might not necessarily think about, especially if you're a piecer. This is kind of out of your realm, but trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm just going to pin all those goodies I just chopped up inside of here. And we do have, on Friday, we do a live sale on our Facebook page if you want to kind of join the craziness. But I am excited to be a part of hosting for the Craft Quilt Sewing Festival. Okay, so I'm just going to, I didn't change my foot because I just was piecing the hexagons. So I'm just going to show you real quick. Well, no. I'm going to actually change my foot. I was going to try to cheat. And you could totally stitch this with a straight foot, but you won't get all the funness. I don't know if funness is a word. but you won't get all of the variety that you can get with a free motion foot. Besides, I know a lot of you that aren't really into art quilts, free motion kind of intimidates you. And really, it is one of the, I think it's much easier than piecing because you don't have to be accurate. If you screw something up, you just like applique a butterfly over it, or my philosophy is we really don't take quilting very seriously because it's what we do to relax and have fun. So I don't want to ever have a project that stresses me out. So, all right, so I'm putting my free motion foot on here. If your machine doesn't have a free motion foot or you don't know where it is, just go to your local sewing machine shop and buy one. They're not that expensive, but you're going to need one to make your life complete. You need a free motion foot. Okay, so I'm going to put my needle down and then pull it up and pull up my bobbin thread so I don't get a nest, although it wouldn't matter in this project. And then I'm just going to sew crazy. Oops. Sometimes your machine doesn't like to go so fast. So I'm just sewing kind of in random circles to catch my threads. And if I was prepared, which I'm not, even though I had warning, I would have a sample one done, but I think I took it home to work on last night and I didn't bring it back. So Raylene, can they ask questions during the live, or do they, is it not?
No, we'll have them put their questions in the comments and then we can check them after the show.
Gosh, oops, look at it. My machine just pulled down some of my fibers. I don't know why my machine always has to go to the mechanics. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we're just going to keep on stitching. So you can see there's really no rhyme or reason to it. You just need to make sure you go over your threads to secure it. So this is something that we cover in our All About Threads class. And you want to kind of be a little bit careful so you don't sew over your fingers, because that would hurt. Are you guys dizzy watching this yet? Okay, and then I'm going to take it to the sink real quick, and I'm going to wash it away, and then you will see a fabulous, hopefully, you never really know till you wash it away what it actually looks like. So, Raylene, since this is new, is it going to be every Wednesday? What's kind of what's going on with it?
Yep, it's going to be every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time.
And so you're going to be interviewing different vendors that are
4 vendors each week.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of exciting that we'll be able to see all of our favorite vendors. So I'm just going to bring it to the sink and wash away the wash away. And I use a little bit of soap. I don't really care if it's still gummy because that will kind of help it to hold a shape. All right, let me see. So then once you have this, and it's kind of hard to see when it's still wet, I'll have to post a picture of it. Once you have this, you can, you've got to let it dry. So I would crinkle it up so it dries kind of misshapen. And then I can go in and I can cut it into more of a leaf shape if I need to. So this is something that you could stitch onto like a pumpkin. You could stitch your leaf onto a pumpkin or whatnot. So that's just kind of an idea to give you an idea of what you could do with threads and wash away and different fibers. All right, that's all I have, Raylene.
Beth, that was awesome. That looks like so much fun. I've never thought about wanting to do anything with threads or anything, and now I'm all jazzed to try it. So we appreciate you showing us that today, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Okay, up next, we have Theresa and Anna from the big Rotary mat cutting service. And I know I didn't say that just right, but they are out of San Diego, California, and they're going to share with us why their mats are so awesome. And looks like they're coming on with us now. So hi, Anna.
Hi, Raylene. How are you?
I'm great. Listen, yes. I don't want to waste any time chit-chatting. Okay. I want people to see your mat, so take it away.
We're ready. Hi, everyone. My name's Anna with the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. Thank you for tuning in to the Wild Wednesdays Live. Today, I'm going to give you a quick little demo, and then we're going to answer some frequently asked questions. Like I said, we are the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. We are the solid, white, firm cutting mat. When you're cutting on our mats, you don't have to bear down because you get traction with your rotary cutter right away. So you get a nice, clean, crisp cut every time. We don't get fiber, batting, or dust down in the mat, but you will get some raised cut marks. When that happens, you're going to take the mat eraser and you're just going to smooth the raised cut marks right back down. We also have our stabilizer. Our stabilizer is what we use to keep your ruler from sliding while you're cutting your fabric. The stabilizer has an extra sticky tape on the back. When you use it the first time, put a little lint from your clothes so it's not so hard to pick up. You can place the stabilizer anywhere you'd like on the mat. Slightly push your ruler towards your stabilizer and cut your fabric. You can also put it on the ruler, butt it up against the mat, slightly push forward and cut your fabric. You can also use it as a seam guide on your sewing machine. When you're done with the stabilizer, you're going to put the back on it and just keep it to the side. Now we're ready for the frequently asked questions. How big is our biggest mat? Our biggest mat is a 48 by 96 inch, 4 foot by 8 foot mat, and many sizes in between. Plus, we custom cut to any size. Where are our mats manufactured? They're manufactured here in San Diego. We are a family-owned business for over 40 years, also known as Sewing Emporium. Another question, do our mats smell? No, they don't smell. Another question, how do you keep your mat from moving on a plastic table? Shelf liner. That's what we use. You just put your mat right on top of the shelf liner and it doesn't slide around. What are the mats made out of? Our mats are made out of PVC, just like the water pipe. So they are firm and durable. They will not warp, they will not buckle, and they do not smell. How long will the cutting mat last? Well, that is up to you. Loosen the blade on your rotary cutter so that it rolls freely both ways. A tight blade will make deeper cut marks. Now, a high volume quilt shop, you may have to buy every couple of years. Will they warp? No, but they will melt. So don't put them in front of the furnace. Do you have to store them flat? Storage is not a problem with our mats. You can stand them up behind the bed frame, behind your couch, slide them underneath your bed. They will not warp and they will not buckle. How do you ship? We ship USPS 3-day priority. We ship them rolled up in a box, and when you get them, they'll come in a box like this, and you'll just cut it open, and they will always lay flat out right away. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And they're flats. Okay. Do you ship international? Yes, we do, but just contact us first for a shipping quote. Do your cutting mats come with a mat eraser? Yes, they do. Every mat comes with a mat eraser. And until January 1st, we are including a gift, and it is the stabilizer with an extra sticky adhesive tape. Any mat. This is a good question. How long does the tape on your stabilizer last? It will last until you wear it out. Everybody uses it different in different ways, and they wear out at different times. But we do sell the 6-pack of adhesive tape on our website, and all you do is you'll take the tape off and put another one back on, and always keep the back on it. We also have other products on our website. We also carry our handles and our knobs for easy gripping and picking up your ruler or your templates. We have many different colors. Check those out on the website. We also carry our adhesive ruler. It's 36 inches. For any of our custom cut mats, we send you an adhesive ruler so you can replace your numbers. How do we order? Well, we order on our Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface.com. Click on the Etsy icon. It will lead you to Big Rotary Cutting Mat 2. You'll be able to see our Black Friday special on there. Also, we have our holiday special, and you can see any size mat and any of our products. Where's Theresa? Theresa is right over here. She wants to say hi, because everybody knows her face.
Hi, everybody. I'm the pointer in the back, so Anna's going to be taking it from here.
We just want to thank you so much. Thank you for working so hard on getting the Wild Wednesdays live. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy, and check out the website. Back to you, Raylene.
Anna, that was awesome. Now, full disclosure, guys, I have every size mat they make all over our work studio. And yes, I'm the one who put one in front of the heater and melted it. So, you know,
Yeah.
lesson learned there. So thank you guys. See you soon. All right.
Bye.
Next up on today's show, we have someone who's always a favorite at the shows for sure, and that's Connie Spurlock. Connie is from So Wonderful Dreams. They're in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And today she's going to show us easy, fusible applique for everyone. Now, this is one I've got to see because I avoid applique at all costs. So I'm hoping after Connie's demo, I'm finally going to dip my feet in the pool and try to do some applique. So, Connie, if you're ready, we are ready to see it.
We are ready to go. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Connie Spurlock from So Wonderful Dreams, and we have about a 15-minute tutorial for you in fusible applique. When you do fusible applique, there are 4 things. You can put this down a little more. Here's a pattern, for example, and here let's see, a little more if we can. There we go. And here's our applique that we're going to make. So when you do fusible applique, it means that you have fusible that you put on the back of each piece to make your design. So when we start, we first have to have a pattern. And the second thing we have to have is fusible. We use Wonder Under from Pellon. There's several weights of Wonder Under, and you want the lightest one possible. Can you see right through there that it's just barely a tissue? That's number 805. It's parchment paper on this side, and it's your fusible on this side. So we need a pattern and fusible. Then we have to choose our colors that we're going to have for our chickens. And then we have to have a background. So once you get this applique finished, it's going to go on something, an apron, a tea towel, a little table runner, whatever that it might be. So those four things: pattern, fusible, fabric, and your background. So when we start, we take our pattern out. Let's see, I didn't do that. We take our pattern out of the packet, and you'll notice that there's a placement. This is how it's going to be when it's finished. And then these are the pattern pieces that you have. So here is the chick body and wings and boots and all of that. You need one of each of those. And so you're going to trace that on Wonder Under. I'll show you in a minute. And then these over here are a choice for you. What kind of hat would you like for your chick to have? So when you take your fusible and you lay it over your pattern, we're going to trace each piece that we need with a Sharpie pen. A Sharpie pen just glides along, it dries quickly, and if you're using dark fabrics, you can easily see where you've traced. When we have finished tracing that, we're going to cut off. We don't cut it out on the line, but we're just going to cut across each one of those that would be the same fabric. For example, when we take the wings, here's where we have cut the wing piece out. There's our tracing. You're looking at the parchment side. Here's what we've chosen for the wings. So we're just going to lay that on top of this. And on my little ironing board, I'm just going to iron this on. Probably 15 to 20 seconds on the paper side. I always have the wrong side of the fabric up, and I have the parchment side of the fusible up as well. So wrong side up for fabric and parchment side for the other. Now that has put my fusible right on top of my wings. And now before I cut them out, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to just take the edge and peel it back just a little bit. Don't take it all the way off. And I'm going to feel. This is your parchment paper here, but if you feel the other side, there's no fusible there anymore. It's already on your fabric. So when the paper feels the same on both sides, you've done a very good job of putting the fusible onto your fabric. Then we go back, and there's two tools that we want to use. I just showed you one of them. We need to have an iron. I'm just using my little iron that works like this. But your household iron would be the same thing. It would work well for you, but an iron with a good consistent temperature for cotton fabric. And you need a pressing sheet. If you want to be a fast and easy applicator, this is the tool for you. It's made of Teflon and fiberglass. There's not a right or a wrong side to it. This is Bare Threads packaging. It comes either flat or it also comes rolled, and there's no difference. They're 13 inches by 17 inches. And when you take it out of the package, either package, you have an angel pattern in there as well. I have a pressing sheet that I have had for about 33 years, so they're going to last forever. There's not a right or a wrong side to it. And for this project, I put my placement here, and I have cut one of those sheets in fourths so it's a little easier. There's my applique sheet, and I'm going to assemble that right onto my pressing sheet. So the first piece that I'm going to iron on, I can see right through it, so I know that it goes just exactly like that. I'm going to do this a little bit quickly, but you probably would do 15 seconds, maybe 20. When you pick it up, it's on there, and it's not going to move. If it gets moved from my placement, I just line it back up and do it again. The next thing that could go on is my wings. And so I can always the fusible side down and match up how your wings are on your placement. Now, every time you pick up a piece, you are taking the paper off. And I'm going to show you how the paper off. So I'd already taken the paper off of those, but you don't do any ironing until you take the paper off. So here I have still my fusible paper, and I can fold it paper to paper and crease it like this, and then just push that up, and usually that will just release it right away. A favorite way for me to do it is, have you curled ribbon? Well, your paper is your ribbon and your scissor is your curler. Do you see how that just quickly rolled back? Now we're just going to peel that off, and I can see by my pattern underneath that there's where her hat goes. And we'll do the same thing with the bow. Take our scissors, put it right on the paper, and just pull it right up, just like you're curling ribbon. And I can see, can't see the whole bow, but I can see up here exactly where it goes. So I know that that will be exactly right. I'm going to give that a touch. Now I haven't put the boots on, and the boots could go on first or the boots could go on last. If I want them on first, I can either put them on first or I can just peel up the edge and slide my boots underneath. I think I want them underneath. So there's one boot. Line everything up. And then we have another boot. Taking the paper off as we go, each piece at a time. And a little bit of an iron. And in a couple of minutes after you've added on your beak, there's what the finished product is going to be. Now, when I peel this up, where fabric has overlapped fabric, that's a permanent bond. When I peel it up, all of my fusible, can you see that it's shiny? All of my fusible is on the back, and it could go on a bib or a tea towel or another little table runner. So that's the basic of fusible applique. You can take any applique pattern, take it to the copy machine, and enlarge or reduce your pattern. So here's a pattern that I have reduced for a pillow. Not reduced, enlarged for a pillow. So this was the actual size, and here's what I'm going to get by running it about 150%. So it's kind of fun to enlarge and reduce your patterns as you go. I'm going to just move that off, and I want to show you something about reversing patterns. So this, let's see, we have a stegosaurus. Here we have a stegosaurus. This is our dinosaur quilt, 5 different designs, and I'm going to show you how quickly it is to put this guy together using the same thing. Then I'm going to show you how to reverse a pattern. So here is my placement for the stegosaurus and my applique pressing sheet. Let's see, are we right there where you can see it? I think I'll move it down a bit. So here is my sheet. You see how easily I can see through that? So my first 2 pieces, I've already taken the paper off. Nope, I didn't. Here's his tail. That's the barb on his tail. And then here is the paper here. On this one, we will line it right up with how it goes. A little bit of iron. I'm getting both my spine on his back and, oh, and if you do that, Stacy, would you get me some iron clean? It's in the back room right around the corner. This is a goof. If you have a light fabric, I've ironed it on the wrong side. And so did you see where it was? It was on the bottom of my iron. I might have intended to do that, but I didn't. It was a goof. Let's try it again. So this is going on here. There we go. And now, yeah, just second shelf down. Sunny, find her some iron. And here is my guy. Do you see how that when I lay that right exactly where that goes and then I iron him, then everything is going to be all connected. Thank you. Everything is going to be all connected just as one. So I didn't do that on purpose, but I might have and should have, because this is the best iron clean we've ever found. If you have put Fusible on the bottom of your iron, or if your iron is dirty, it's put out by Bone Ash. We carry it at So Wonderful Dreams, but it will clean your iron in just 15 seconds. So you can see how we would put this Stegosaurus together. Now let's say that we make a quilt and we'd like one to go this way. That's what the pattern is, but we don't want to have every single one going the same direction. So this one is facing this way, but we want this one. You can always reverse the pattern, and you do that by taking the page that came out of your pattern, taking it to a window or your light box, and seeing what the design is on the other side. You're going to trace it on this side. So this will reverse, and he will be headed the other way. I also have to have my placement heading the other way so that I'm going to get them coming in both directions. Sometimes we have ones that are a tiny bit more complicated. Doesn't mean it's harder. It just means that it'll take you a little longer. This is our Bethlehem batik. All of them are made out of batiks. Even a beginner can do this very easily. And this is a little bit different because our pattern pieces are numbered. They're numbered so that you'll know exactly where you are when you're putting them together. And you just start with number 1 and follow on through. So this is how that will look. We're going to take our pattern pieces like this and our Fusible over the top. And as we would trace each one of our pattern pieces, we would write on this one, 1 and block A, 2 and block A, and every piece gets lettered just exactly like that, so that when we start putting them all together, we can lay our placement. I'm going to turn it that way. Can you see that? I think so. We're going to put our placement here on our ironing board, and then we're going to, where did that one go? There it is hiding. Put our applique sheet down, and we'll just start here. I'll show you how it's going to be before I put the sheet over it. Here's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and you just are going to follow. Here's 4, 5, and you'll just follow until you have done all the numbers. At the bottom, we've shown you so that you can cut it out or copy it off. There's the numbers, and we'll just follow them piece by piece. And in a few minutes, maybe not a few minutes, but in 20 minutes or so, you probably will have all of your buildings done. And you can see on this pattern that they all have lights on them. So these windows are all A, and then these are B, and these are C. So at the end, you just put it on that building and you've got it all done. Our wise man pattern, of course, is in the pattern, but also we have a nativity laser set that you'll get this and all of these already cut out for you with the backing on them to do it. So Fusible is just as easy as 1, 2, 3. I think if you have any questions, I think you probably put those to Raylene in the next few days. But just follow your pattern and you will find applique very easy. The key to applique, in my opinion, is having an applique pressing sheet. I'll leave it there 1 more minute. I think we've got about 2 minutes left. If you're putting your blocks together on our dinosaur, I would put a row together and then put my applique on after so that it is better centered. If you happen to put your rows together and you need to take something apart, I'm going to show you a little tool that unfortunately we use way too often, but this is the best seam ripper that we have ever had. It operates on a AA battery, and there's a little turn on place right here. And this is how easy it would be for you to take out the seam on your block. Just lickety-lick. If you go to Seam Ripper, Connie Spurlock on YouTube, there's a little tube there for you. And just a little bit more. There we go. There's a tube there for you. And we are so SCW Wonderful Dreams. And we have lots of applique patterns, and we appreciate this opportunity to be with you. Have fun doing Fusible applique. Thanks so much.
Connie, that was awesome. I'm so sold. I'm like coming out of my chair sitting here watching because so easy. Even I can do it, and everybody that knows me knows I can't do much. So I really appreciate you being on with us today. I know everybody's excited to get the
Good.
project
We
done
have
for
pressing
Christmas.
sheets online. We have rippers online, and you can just take a look at our website. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've got one more vendor to share with you today. Next up is Bobbie Bergquist from Quilted Treasures, and she's going to be showing us a quick and easy way to do stained glass. So we're really excited about that. So let's see, are you there, Bobbie?
Hi, Renee. This is Bobbie Bergquist from Quilters Treasure, and I'm trying to call you because I can't hear you, remember? You can hear me, but I can't hear you. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
What I'm going to show you is another form of applique, and this is one that's easy for even a first-time quilter to do. I'm going to show you the tools that I use. First, I use Aleene's tacky glue, and I put it into a glue applicator. Then I also use Roxanne glue basic, and this is to hold fabric to fabric so that I can peel it off and reposition it. I have a 6-finger, which I'm going to show you later how to use that. And I have a presser. And this is for pressing down and setting the lead line. So today we're going to do the Mariposa. And hold that up so you can see it. This is just a second version of it. We're going to do the easiest one today. Now in our patterns, we're going to give you the directions. Now these directions I have not changed in 19 years except adding the link to YouTube on it. And we're going to switch now to the other camera. Okay, now this is what you're going to get, a paper template. The nice thing about this technique is you can use anyone's pattern. All you need is a line drawing, and this is a real stained glass pattern that we're using here. So first we're going to take and trace it onto our background fabric. Now, if the pattern is too light and you can't see through your fabric, you can use a light box. You can also trace on the paper pattern with a Sharpie, but don't use it on your fabric. So once we've traced that onto our fabric, we're going to do the same thing with our colors. Now notice the yellow is all contiguous. So instead of cutting little tiny pieces, we're going to cut them all contiguous. So once we've done that, instead of using Fusible, I use just a few dots of Roxanne glue basic to hold it in place. So this has 4 dots and it's 19 years old. Once it's glued down, it will stay unless you want to peel it off. Make sure that you overlap your pieces. I don't know if you can see that, but this corner here overlaps. Now that we have everything down, we're going to use a lead line. Now the lead line is a polyester braid, and we have this in 5 different types. We have black that's in 2 different widths. There's the narrow 3/16 inch polyester. We have a 1/4 inch nylon. It also comes in white in both the narrow and in the wider, and it comes in a 3/16 inch wide green, which is great if you're doing any applique. It makes great stems and vines. So when we're using this lead line, we're going to take and use our glue applicator. And we're going to run a bead of glue. We're going to also use a little candle. Now what this is for is to seal the ends. I have to make sure it's in the picture there. Seals the ends of your lead line by the heat of the flame. Then once it's sealed, we're going to glue it down. Now, when you're gluing down, if you go over a spot that you have not glued on, you can stop gluing, continue on the other side, and then when you get ready, you can lift this up and tuck the piece under it. Also, because it's a water-soluble glue, we can take and put a drop of water if we forget, and still lift up and tuck underneath. When we go around a corner, we're going to fold it back onto itself because there is no right or wrong side. And these series of patterns, which is the quilt that's behind me as well, there's 24 different patterns, and they're all numbered in the order to put the lead line down. Now, once we have a lead line down, and I've given you this example because in my YouTube video, which you'll find on my website, I've only made one addition in the last 8 years. And that is when you're gluing the lead line, use a piece of cardboard so that when you go around a corner, all you have to do is just stick a pin in there and keep right on going. Now, I showed you on this one here, I was kind of messy down here, but when you put your lead line on, look at how that takes all that sin away and makes it nice and straight. Now, to make a nice straight line, after I run a bead of glue and I put my lead line down and I press down to seat it, I'm going to use it as a straight edge and take my 6th finger and scooch everything up to it to make a beautiful straight line. Now that we've done that, we're going to base it together with our batting and backing. We're going to sew right on the lead line, and we're quilting all at the same time. Now you can use a twin needle or a zigzag stitch, and you go right down the middle. I used a zigzag stitch, and you can't see my stitches. If you use a zigzag or a twin needle, you're going to end up with a zigzag on the back. Now, if you use a single needle, I don't know if you can quite see it, I've used gold thread here. You will need to go down one side and back the other. And if you do that, it looks like you've done free motion quilting. So that's the basic technique on how we do it. So this we can use anybody's pattern, and all you need is our directions with a picture, and you can turn it into a quilt. Now, if you're doing something and you make a mistake, this is what I call Quilter's Whiteout. It's the opaque ink by Sukaneko and a brush. So you could just take and put just a little on that and daub it on to where your mistake is, or dry brush it in, and you can cover up a mistake. But when we're tracing these, we don't have to worry about it because we're going to be putting the fabric down, and then the lead line is going down to cover the edges. Now to fill the glue applicator, all you need to do is remove the tube. We're going to take and unscrew the cap. I don't cut the tip off because it dries out. And then you pour it in at an angle into the tube, and you only want to put in as much as your little pinky finger up to the first joint. A little goes a long way, and you just run your bead of glue. I like to tuck things underneath. Now, the other beautiful thing about this is you get the speed of raw edge, you get that look of needle turn, and everything is all reinforced. So we can actually use them and we can repair them. If it separates, all you have to do is undo your stitching, push your fabric back under, and stitch it back down again. And I don't recommend it, but I had a quilt that made it through the fire that we had last year. And I thought it had made it fine, it just looked a little discolored. So I soaked it in OxiClean for 6 hours. Then I put it in my washing machine, and it came out. And you know what? It looked pretty good, except some of the fabric in the batting and backing didn't make it through the fire. But every single piece of my lead line was still glued down. So what I did was I undid all my stitching. I took off my design. I took pre-quilted block and pre-washed blocks and replaced the ones that were damaged in my quilt. And I could do that because I have a technique called Quilt As You Go. And you'll find an example of that on my website as well. Down at the bottom, there's a YouTube link. And on the YouTube link, you will see my demonstrations, and I have more that will be coming. So I hope you'll send us questions if you have them. You're also free to contact me directly. You'll find my phone number and my email address on my website. Okay, I lost you for a minute there.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Are you still there?
Yeah, okay, so that was Bobbie, and that was really interesting how she got that butterfly. So that's our show for today. Guys, I know we had a few sound issues and a few little glitches as we're getting going here, but we really do hope you enjoyed it. And of course, all the vendors that were featured today can be found at the Quiltcraft Festival Mall. you can reach that right through Quilt Crafts and Sewing's Facebook page, and you'll be able to access all the vendors you saw today. Now, next week, we'll have a whole new lineup, 4 new vendors. So we hope you check us out again next week on Wild Wednesdays Live, again, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, guys, and have a wonderful week.